Hey everybody, how's it going? We're finally here. Chart Raiders Season 1, preseason, starting today. Yeah, it's been a long wait, but we're finally here. Hopefully everybody out there is doing good. I've got a special guest here today with me, who's going to be co-hosting today's stream with me. It's Kartik. Say hello, Kartik.
Hello, hello. How's everybody? How you going?
I'm good, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing extremely well. Thank you for this opportunity. Can't say enough.
Yeah, awesome. So Kartik's going to be helping me co-host some of the events in the future here, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to have Kartik on stream, some dual commentary. It's going to give kind of a different angle. Kartik was on a team in Season 1, and then stepping away to join me on doing some things here on the back end. So we've got a really cool perspective from Kartik because he was on a team, he went through the grind, he did all the hard stuff. So we're going to be able to get some pretty cool insights from Kartik as we look at teams this season, as we do all this kind of fun stuff. And I think we're gonna kick right into looking at the teams and how they scored. So everybody's been anxious and waiting to see how these teams score on paper. Kartik, you were on Paradigm for a little while, and
Yes.
who were you guys afraid of? Like, what was Paradigm's kind of team to be afraid of? I suppose it's the best way to say it.
Well, to be honest, Paradigm is not afraid of anybody.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the talent that we have in Paradigm is amazing, and everybody is at its peak. Yeah, and we actually never talked about it while in the team, like whom we should be worried about. We were just more focused on what we are doing and how can we give our best. So, but yeah, like I have my own personal favorites.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, like yeah. On the number one, it's Team Paradigm, of course, and on number two, it's Team Arcane. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Paradigm and Team Arcane, yeah. Everybody says Team Arcane. They're pretty scary. Those guys are they're pretty damn good. They're pretty focused and tuned in. So how do you think the ranks are gonna look? Nobody's seen these yet. I'm about to reveal the ranks and how everybody scored. So let's talk about that for a second. Every week, everybody on all teams, they kind of do a skill test. And the skill test ranks them on their PA, RACA for that week. So some weeks you might have, member X, we'll just pick a random name, say Enigma's team leader, Inuk. You might have him score really high on PA one week, really low on PA the next week. So, ranks are to be taken with a bit of a grain of salt, but yeah, it really gives you a good idea of where people are at for that week and how focused they are. I've been keeping a close eye on the ranks, and when I watch the teams and how they're progressing, it's pretty neat because you can see their stats and exactly how they how that's affecting them. Like, I definitely noticed it with a few teams. When I saw their PA scoring low, I made sure I watched those traders during their sessions, and of course then their PA was a bit off, and the ones that they ranked high on something like C or RA, of course then they were kind of firing on all cylinders. So that'll be really cool to keep track of for this first week, and for every week actually. So nobody's seen that yet. Kartik, do you have any kind of guesses about who would be at the top of that list?
Looking at the results and performance, I think Team Arcane would be at the first.
Any specific person with Arcane?
I would vote for Ahivet.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I mean, Luke is also good. Like, in the past days when I was in, like, back in the days in mentorship days, I used to trade a lot with Luke and Ahivet. So those both guys, they're like fire. They are so good with their technicals. But I have seen Ahivet trading, so I would say Ahivet maybe.
So thinking that Ihibet is the kind of the person who's to be feared as the number one trader. Luke, yeah, good guesses. Okay, let's go take a look.
Okay.
Of course, this is their P&L and points. They have nothing here yet as the season has not started. We don't have anything up for this, but just to go to the leaderboards first off. So this is first part of the point metric system, where every team is going to have their progress recorded throughout the season. Of course, the points that they've accrued throughout the weeks, bringing them to the Grand Championship, and then their current P&L standings. And then here we go. Here's that leaderboard. So you nailed it. Ihivet right at the top of the list. He actually has scored the highest amongst all traders. So that's the leader of team.
Yay.
Yeah. So team Arcane. 2 members on the leaderboard there. 2 of their 3 members. Actually, sorry, all 3 members from Team Arcane on the leaderboard. Should come as no surprise. Team Arcane is to be feared for sure. What are your thoughts on this? Looking at this list, Kartik.
Number 1 is Ihivet, and I can see J-Cap. I love this guy. He's Paradigm's captain. So supportive. It's good to see that he's on number 2. Then Ninpo, Jay, amazing guy. Yeah, it's looking like a tough competition, I would say, for sure.
Yeah, kind of somebody who's crept up in this competition. Somebody that I've been watching is Shenron, actually, leading right to the 4th spot there. Shenron has been someone that I've been closely watching, and yeah, he's just a really amazing overall balanced trader. Like he's just he surprises me every time I'm in there. He's the kind of guy who doesn't talk too much, but constantly has progressive feedback. Like he's just such a great, well-rounded trader. Then of course you have Freestyle number 5, Inuk, captain of Enigma number 6, Confused, captain of TA Mafia number 7. You've got Jesse from Phoenix and Rob in 10th. So you've got 8 and 10th there, followed by JPD in 9th. So yeah, really cool to see how every trader has kind of fallen into the ranks here. So that's really neat. Then on the left, it's just kind of the combined scores of all teams, not in any order other than alphabetical here. Arcane, Enigma, Paradigm, Phoenix, and TA Mafia, how they combine their scores across all teams. I always like to stay quiet, see if people say something. Hi, Kartik.
Hey, I'm sorry. Can you hear me? I think I
can
might
hear
be
you.
having some problem.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, the list is looking so cool. Shandron, yeah, I remember you were talking in Team Enigma's live event on Discord.
Mhm,
I
yeah.
remember this was the one of the guy who was, you were like, he's a sniper, he's so quiet, but he does like all the background stuff. So yeah, excited to see how he does in the competition, in the trades. Well, I'm excited for Jacob for obvious reasons. You know.
Yeah, so being on that team before on Paradigm, being led by JCap, how was that experience? Because like I've watched JCap train his guys, and he's incredible. Like JCap is just top level communication. He's always got his guys tuned right in. He's a tough captain, but man, can that guy ever command a squad? JCap he's a true leader for his team for sure. How did you find working with him?
Like I'm saying, I love this guy. I really love him. He is a real supporter. He looks after his teammates, and he's just not just about, you know, like making trades and making money. He's more about making someone a better person in real life, somebody a good trader, and also like putting up all his values in that person and keeping that team really close. Like to be honest, like there's one thing I can tell you about Team Paradigm: we never had any kind of arguments in between. We never had any fight. It was always so smooth because of JCap. He used to make sure like everything has that freedom of speech and all the ideas are put on the table. So amazing guy. Like, I really cannot know. Really cannot say that there might be any better captain than him, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. JCap is an absolute gem. Let's go take a look at the teams right now. Let's see what the teams are doing right now. And they're not trading today. They're getting ready for season 1, which starts Monday. So the official launch date of this thing is on Monday here, season 1. So the teams won't be taking any trades today, as we've just halted trading to do our last little push for training and to set up the tournament. So they won't be actually taking any trades today, but it's always interesting to kind of take a look at what they're doing. Cardic Bitcoin's been going kind of crazy lately. You know, we've hit some pretty bad lows. It broke a range. It moved up to 32 and change. I believe it was about 32.4.
Yeah, 32.4.
Yep, went all the way down to about 26.7. Created a range, sat inside of that range for a while, broke above it, went all the way up to 32.4, and now is coming back right down to the bottom of that range, getting close to trends. Like, what are your thoughts with Bitcoin right now? What's it doing? Is it gonna keep this kind of sideways motion, or what do you think?
Yeah, this pump that happened a few days back, I think it's not that pump which can take us above 32. We also have this daily trend now, a daily origin. So I still think we might look some sideways action, or maybe go a bit lower to 24 or 22, something like that. I've been taking few trades in between, like this daily level I took, and I got like 3%. But overall
Very nice.
pace, I think we are still in some sideways action, and the resistance is a lot. In order to go up, Bitcoin really needs to fight a lot in order to go up. Then I saw like there's a weekly trend which is holding up all the move. So I can expect more dump in coming days. That's what I can say looking at my charts right now. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, it's tough because Bitcoin broke its previous range. I'll try to walk through the move a little bit on the screen here. You know, the tough thing is that Bitcoin had and is fighting with this origin level back from the past. There's been a weekly origin that's been sitting there, and it's continuing to hold it, but it's getting to look pretty scary. I mean, we're on Friday now, and you know, if you zoom into Bitcoin here, you've been fighting this weekly origin. I think the fear right now is that if you go into next week and open up that candle underneath that, now that doesn't mean that Bitcoin will dump, because you can create a couple different scenarios here. You know, the first one is that you create that candle open under your origin level right here. So you've got your origin level here. That's a really bad arrow. Maybe I should just do a straight one. There we go. I already got the arrow on it anyways. You've got your origin level back here that comes from the beginning of this move. So this has been preset for a while. It's what Bitcoin has been fighting to stay above, and it really represents if Bitcoin can continue holding above this larger range that it created. If it can't hold this, you know, you look for a move down back to 20K, even possibly down to 12K, 13K, something back in this range. You know, Bitcoin really did break above this level. It held it. So now you're looking at the next range that it can hold in here, all the way down to 10K here, and even back somewhere in here, like 12K kind of range. So yeah, I mean, the big thing is right now is that you really don't want to open up a candle below this move. You couldn't possibly hard close this move this week, because if you zoom into the candle, actually you'd have to dump straight down, and it would just be right there. But it would be very unlikely. More likely what's going to happen is you start creeping down here next week, and that's a scary moment. If you start closing candles here, even if they're in accumulation, if you're starting to close accumulation candles down here, it's not going to take much to close one of them in distribution. So like that's the forefront of my mind, because if we see that happen, we see Bitcoin go down to some pretty crazy levels, breaks its origin, has a huge breakout, can no longer sustain this upper range that it's been pushing, and goes back to retest to see if it can even hold something like 20K, you know, your weekly kind of level here, and you know, something in this region here. You break that origin, and you're back testing some of these lower levels, and that's not even to say that they can hold the move. This origin was super important because it's already an established move, and it's already been holding over top of this for so long. And you know, an origin level that's been on the chart for this long and such a big time frame, like, yeah, it's gonna get pretty spooky if this thing breaks. So I think Bitcoin really needs to steal energy from all around the world to kind of stay above this origin. If we see it go below and have an accumulation candle start opening below that weekly, it's getting pretty spooky, man. Yeah, I would be very cautious of that right now. If it can continue to hold this origin, that's fantastic. But then, really it has to kind of develop that weekly level as well. So you have to start gaining levels and holding them over this 30,284. Like you have to start developing something on this move, because, you keep moving sideways. What's going to happen is you're going to break this trend right here, this daily trend. Let's color code these properly so everybody can follow along at home. So that's my fault. You've got two daily range trends here that were created. The problem is if you move sideways long enough, you're going to find yourself on the side of this trend, and you may not even get a chance to see if it can fight for this, because you break this interior range trend and it might just drop to the floor. So yeah, pressure's on Bitcoin. That's for sure. That's what I would say. The pressure is 100% on Bitcoin right now. It can't move sideways and it can't move down. Both of these two scenarios is devastating for Bitcoin. And it's simply not really creating that much to hold. Like you've got a daily level here that held the move. Like you've got this daily that held the move, but it's it's struggling to hold it still. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not looking too. It's looking pretty grim for Bitcoin, in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see if it can hold. If Bitcoin can hold on and break some trends, then yeah, it'll look good.
Well, thanks for that. Everybody loves to listen your take on Bitcoin. Yeah, it would be nice if it can go to like 12 or 10K,
I agree.
a good buying opportunity.
The nice thing about going to 10 or 12K would be, well, a couple things. So let's talk about that for a second. We go to 10 or 12K. First off, what happens to the industry? Like, what do you think is going to happen? We're talking about the Twitter part of it, media, what are like news, because everybody gets hammered with these news articles. Like, if we go to 10 or 12K, what happens?
Well, the first thing that happens, people might lose their faith in crypto, and then it's gonna take a lot of time, like I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 or maybe 5 years for everything to get better or everything to get stable. That's what I think can happen.
Yeah, it's a long time, 3, 4, 5 years. Yeah, Bitcoin moves fast, but you're right. I think it takes a while. Reminds you of what happened back when Bitcoin hit 20K and sank to 3. Like the whole market was just this cloud of doubt, right? Just this whole cloud of doubt around crypto. So that was an interesting time to be around then. Like a lot of us have been around for a long time in this industry, and yeah, you remember things. You remember the crypto winters and all the sayings that came out, and it's fun. It is fun for sure, and there's a lot of opportunity there, which is cool. Yeah.
And that's the first time I heard about Bitcoin. I was like much more younger, and everybody was talking, especially in my country, like, hey, there's a new bubble, Bitcoin, it's a scam, everything is a scam.
Yeah.
So I remember Bitcoin in those ways in my old days.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, great buying opportunities. I think Twitter goes crazy. I can tell you that. Twitter's gonna go nuts. Twitter's gonna explode. Yeah, no, just what I think there's two sides to this. I think every time you see one of these big purgers in the scene, in the markets, and in the crypto markets, like crypto has a lot to prove still, right? I support crypto through and through. I think it's imperative for our future, and crypto and Bitcoin still has a lot to prove. So you come down to these levels, and it's also another opportunity for crypto to shine, because it, in a way, in my opinion, if we were to drop to 10K and 10K holds, it stabilizes the market for another big run up. It's going to need to hold for 6 or 9 months, but then you go on another crazy run up, right? Like 60K this time, 100K next time. So in 5 years, we hit those elusive 100K targets if we go down to 10K, which I think that's pretty cool. I think that's like a really great thing, because whenever these events happen and Bitcoin can hold on, it's kind of proving itself one more time. So from a fundamental, now I don't get too much into fundamentals, as people know, but from a fundamental standpoint, it does really prove that it has staying power, and I think that's healthy for the ecosystem, and I think it gets more people involved, because what I remember about being at 20K is it was very taboo. Like, God, I remember days when Bitcoin was like that first big pump to 20K, and it was like Christmas time, and I remember seeing like Macy's commercials with Bitcoin Cash and all these sorts of crazy things. And I remember seeing Coinbase starting to implement these coins, and it kind of opened the doors to a new audience. Like that's one of the things I noticed, is that it instantly opened the door of crypto. All of a sudden, there was all these people talking about crypto. Like it opened the doors for this whole generation of people. So I don't know how many people, you can never know how many people are in, but let's say there was like 100,000 people into crypto, which is obviously a low number. Let's just use that number. Let's say there's 100,000 people into crypto before the run up to 20K. There was maybe 1 million people after that, because it was all over CNBC, and like you can start a conversation with even even your grandma without her saying like, oh, you heard about that Bitcoin? Like, you know, like you can, so that pump happened, and like all of a sudden our audience increased 10 times the size. So like that's the cool thing. I think that's the thing that people don't see, is that there's a level of adoption that comes every time we hit one of these crazy levels, and it holds, and it gives people an opportunity to get in again. I think that's cool. That's what I like to see.
Would you say Bitcoin is too big to fail?
Yeah, I would. I think at this point, crypto has come too far to fail. I would absolutely say that. I may not have said that in the past, but you know, the thing that Bitcoin has proven over time, and it's not that I said Bitcoin wouldn't be around. Like my standpoint with Bitcoin has always been, like Bitcoin, it still has to prove itself. It's not here to stay yet. Something else could take over, because I think crypto as a technology is here to stay. And I wasn't always sure about Bitcoin. Like it could stay, it could not. Like nobody knows these things, nor does it make a difference to have an opinion. But I think we've kind of passed that threshold now with hitting some of these numbers up top and some of the adoption we've seen. I think Bitcoin's not going anywhere anymore. I think it's here to stay. And if it goes down to even 5K, that's still, you know, well above the 3,500 or 3,600 we hit last time. So even if Bitcoin were to go down to 5K, and it might seem pretty bleak for a lot of people, you know, as long as it holds, and it goes even higher next time, right? Because it's just creating ladder points and moving up higher. But one thing I think is that Bitcoin is here to stay. I think crypto was always here to stay, and the question was, is it going to be Bitcoin? Is it going to be Ethereum? Is it going to be one of these other stable coins to take over? But yeah, Bitcoin is too adopted now. I don't think it goes anywhere.
Yeah. Also in terms of trading, like I talk to many traders, and they all have like this same perception about trading altcoins and Bitcoin. It's like they have more trust on Bitcoin and Ethereums other than
Yeah.
those altcoins, because these altcoins can go like 80 to 90% down in a bear market, right?
Yeah.
So Bitcoin might be a good thing, or it had proven itself for a long time that most of the trader, they trust Bitcoin and Ethereum more, because I think Ethereum also has some kind of real life applications
Yep.
that it's also kind of big in itself.
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy how much the markets have evolved. I'm going to say that. Yeah, it's crazy. The use cases out there are increasing, and yep, it's pretty nuts. It's pretty cool to see. And of course, anybody out there who's wanting to learn this stuff, it's all free on my YouTube. Go check out the Cotton Candy YouTube. And this is a tournament that we run called Chart Raiders. And first season starts on Monday. So we sponsor teams, $10,000 a week, and they keep their profits. We watch them trade. Simple as that. It's a lot of fun. Kartik, when I first mentioned teams, what was your kind of reaction, and what was your what was your reaction? Like, what did you think? Because nobody knew I was going to do this thing with teams, and then all of a sudden I was like, you know, oh yeah, we're going to do some trading teams, and it was very cool and chill and light. And then, you know, I announced the whole kind of gamut of what was going on. What were your thoughts? Like, what was going through your mind then?
Yeah, nobody had any idea that you would do this one day. It almost shaken the all community, the Discord and everything. For me personally, I was so excited because it was new for me, and I've been trading like since 1 year now, and most of the time it's like alone, isolated. So it was pretty cool and new thing to trade with other people who know the same science. Uh, the whole structure for the team is excellent. It's amazing. It's the people who are not into teams, they don't know how much work we do in the background, like to make this thing happen. And Yeah, and fortunately I got into a really amazing team. We did so many things together. We had our moments. uh, yeah, man, it's like, no one can think anything better than this. Like, you're getting funded accounts, man. What do you have to worry about? Just
Yep.
be at your A game and trade. That's it, you know?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Um, yeah, it was a lot of fun to mention this, and then yeah, it's a lot of hard work. Touch on that a little bit, because a lot of people, they don't really get too much insight to the back end of things. Of course, we run events, and we've never had somebody who was on a team speak about this, who's not on a team anymore but has had that experience. Like, talk about the hard work. Like, what kind of stuff did you guys do every day on your team, and yeah, how was it hard?
Sure, sure. So being on the team, it's like everyday job. You have to show up on the time. You have to have that discipline so that all the team members can be on time, because most of the time, we all are from different time zones in the world, right? Like,
Yep.
somebody is in United States, somebody is in Spain, I'm in India, so that kind of thing. So making a suitable, environment with considering the time zones.
Yep.
And then most important thing is showing up every day, learning together. So being in paradigm shift, what we used to do, like, um, 6 days in week, we used to trade a lot, for 8 hours, for 9 hours, something like that. And then we had one day for group studies. That was amazing, because most of the doubts or any kind of thing that we want to share, we used to share over that time when we were studying. So that was amazing. And then with teams, pressure is also there. Like, one goes through this pressure of being, um, it's almost like, um, you have to be right for the team, and that makes you work harder, so that in the mind, you have this, like, hey, I want to work hard, I want to be right, so that my team can make profits. So it's a lot of pressure, I would say.
Yep.
But then
Yep.
it
Absolutely.
also, yeah, yeah, then it also makes you strong. If you have like team captain like JCap,
Yep.
they are so good in keeping the environment calm and everything. Like, yeah, we had bad days, but then at the end of the day, he was the one who was like, hey guys, it's okay, you know we're gonna try next day. So it was tough. It's so tough, but it's also fun at the same time. Like, the challenges, it makes you want something. Like, for me, it was something to look for. I had a motive in my life, so that I can wake up on time, I can show up for my teams and everything. I had a really great time, and I'm sure all other teams are doing this. Yeah, that was my experience in total.
And how important was the captain role? Like, I'm just sitting here thinking about people out there who may want to make teams in the future. Like, how you said JCap seems to be a pretty big pinnacle in your story here, a pretty big anchor point. How important was that captain as a role? Like, obviously it goes without saying he was important, but I guess I'm just trying to highlight how critical it sounds like JCap was in the, like, instrumental he was in your team's success, like for new teams. I guess, is that the most important thing, that you would start a foundation? You're building a team from zero, and you say, okay, am I going to be a captain, or do I want to be on a team and I need a captain? Like, I guess he kind of becomes the most important part of that, right?
Yeah, 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 for sure. He is like, he's the one
He or
who
she, I
not only
should say.
have to. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying he or she, I should say, because we're talking about a scenario to come. So somebody's making a team, and then he or she is a captain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
definitely. It's not just about the team. A captain has also, he has a lot of work to do, like talking to you on a regular basis. All the captain, they have their own different tasks that they have to go through. Then taking care of the team. He's the one who's managing the account. And yeah, it's like, a captain needs a strong foundation. He needs to be calm. He needs to know how to build up a team. And he also needs to be matured in some ways. Um, Yeah, I would say everybody in the team, they bring out something special with them, but a captain needs to be someone who can give something extra on the table. That's how I saw Jacob.
Yeah, he was always yeah, he was always instrumental. So that's cool. And what would you say would be the qualities of a captain? Like what that you would want to invoke from zero? Like what would be the most important thing for any captain to know?
Yeah, first thing, they should be like far-sighted. They they should be able to see a person like, not just in terms of trading or his or her technicals, but as a person, how good they are, like how they are just a person, you know. Then second thing I would say, keeping the team together, making sure everybody is on time, everybody is serious for their roles. Like, I'm sure all the teams have their own roles divided within all the members, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
leadership, um, taking care of their team, consistency, discipline. These all are the like basic things a captain should be having, and also like, able to communicate better between you and his teammates. That is also one of the things.
Looks like Team Paradigm has a special message for you. Says, "Way to go, Kardik. Much love from Paradigm." That's nice of them to say that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
love
think
those guys.
yeah, I think Paradigm has always had that camaraderie. So the things I'll quickly discuss about the teams is that with each team they kind of have their own thing, right? Like one of the things I know, I'll go through all the teams here. Paradigm, they always had a camaraderie, and like if there was a team that was a well-oiled machine, it'd be Paradigm. Like you guys used to practice 24/7. Like I saw you guys in there all the time. Maybe not 24/7, but every day I would be up at, because I wake up early. I'm up at like sometimes 4 a.m. I wake up at 4 a.m. You guys are all there as a team. I was like, what is going on? How long do these guys trade for? Like it seemed like you guys were always there. So you guys were like a well-oiled machine. So that was cool. Going over to Team Enigma. Team Enigma was they are somebody who they have these ideas, and they're really interesting because they kind of see things outside the box a little bit. Like, you know, the thing about Team Enigma is that they've got Inuk as a captain, and Inuk, he catches on very quick. Like he's never the person to ask questions. He's always the person to kind of figure out what you're not saying. So there's kind of like this hidden superpower with Enigma and Inuk, and you know, I think a lot of their team members fall under this too. Like I've seen Marcus have some pretty amazing moments in sessions, and Marcus is just so keyed into his charts. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And Shenron is super balanced, and then they've got Sugar, who's a newer member to their team, who's just a brilliant guy all around. Like they really are kind of, they've kind of got this hidden superpower, Team Enigma. I really like that about them. They are just, yeah, there's something special about that team. I really like Team Enigma. What is your experience with Enigma? I don't know how much you got to talk to teams and how much interactions you had, but yeah, what would your take be on Team Enigma?
Um, yeah, to be honest, I wasn't able to talk to other teams a lot because we were always busy with our things.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so the only thing I had some of the interaction with was Team Arcane, because me, Ahivet, JPD, and Luke, we were like, we talks a lot on occasions. So yeah, sorry for that, but I haven't had like a lot of talking with other teams, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah, because you guys were so keyed in. Well, like even right now, Team Enigma, they took it amongst themselves. So just really goes back to what I was saying about, I would say things, and they would start picking up on the things that I wasn't saying, which is crazy. So they created, and I hope this isn't spoiling a little bit of their magic, but I'll talk very vaguely about it. They created this crazy set of drills that they do on a regular basis, and it was like, I saw this list and I was just like, okay, this is getting pretty serious with these guys. That was really cool to see, and looks like they're doing their drills right now with their team. So we'll get off there channel because they're doing their drills right now. And then you got TA Mafia. Um, TA Mafia, like they are so, these guys are lightning in a freaking bottle, man. TA Mafia, they move around their charts super fast. They find all the trades. They're like, they have super speed, these guys. Like that's the thing about TA Mafia. They are like ultra fast traders. If you watch them trade, it's hard to keep up with them. So in mentorship, what I find a lot is that when I'm teaching people, they're like, whoa, Cotton, slow down. Like, we don't know what you're talking about because I'm going so fast and I get kind of lost in my world. Their captain Confused, he has this same magic. He has that magic where this dude, he flies through charts so fast, his teammates get mad at him. And it's really crazy because they have this insane balance where they can all keep up. They're all watching. They're all locked into what he's doing. And like, dude, these guys are fast, which is really, really amazing. Like they're the kind of team that if we had a special event that was how many trades you can get into in 1 week, they would shoe in. They would win it like right on spot. It's crazy. Then you got Team Arcane. Team Arcane, I don't know if you really need to say anything about Team Arcane. They've kind of just proven themselves over time. They're just that's Fear Factor right there. That's the tarantula of the groups, right? Like they're just, yep. Then you got Phoenix. What do you think about Phoenix, Kartik? Have you had any interactions with them? Have you had any time to really talk to their members?
Phoenix, no. I just know Jude because we had like a few discussions on Twitter, and yeah, like haven't had any discussions with them, but I saw the event. It was good,
Yep.
and I think that like this is the team who had like struggled a lot. Like I would not say struggle, but they have like gone through a lot, I guess, right?
They had a big challenge. They came into this tournament
Yeah.
with the only team, nobody on mentorship. So they had a huge challenge going into this. They came into this and they got approved for a team because I saw how devoted they were and how serious they were. They had a big challenge because they were a group of originally 5 down to 4 now. They were a group that had no one to guide them through this process. So they were almost like in a movie, sat down in chairs and given a stack higher than they could see of tasks to complete. And like they are completely uncapped skill wise is the first thing I'll say about this team. They were given this monstrous task to, okay, you guys have 2 weeks to prepare. If you can prove this, you can be an official team. And the list of tasks that I gave them was huge. It was massive, and they did it and they proved it. And I saw them studying 16, 17 hours a day, 14, 12 hours a day, 10-minute breaks, everybody, all 4 members there for weeks on end. And then they did it. They were the only team. They didn't have any guidance, any help, and they did it all on their own. And every time I talk to these guys, I work with all the teams on a daily basis. I'm jumping between different teams, helping them and training them and just getting them to be their kind of best versions. Every time I go in there, they have breakthroughs and they ask the right questions, and they're completely uncapped in their skill set as a ceiling. That's the cool thing about Phoenix, is that they may have had a tough go, but they're also the one team that's completely uncapped. Nobody knows how good Phoenix is going to get. Nobody knows. That's the thing I'll say about Phoenix, is that they're just completely uncapped.
Yeah, and it's so crazy. Like you have so much of content in mentorship, and those guys have to like go through everything within few weeks or maybe a month.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks. It was 2 to 3 weeks.
2
So they
weeks.
had to do mentorship light, both of those, as well as understand it. So imagine doing that in 2 weeks. We're talking about 80 to 90 lessons, some of them 3 and 4 hours long. 2 weeks they did it in. How crazy is that?
That is so crazy. Even just in mentorship, I can see like we have 75 lessons, and few of them are like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Yeah, so
Yeah.
proud of them that they did this, and they're on their track. I'm sure they're gonna do good in the tournament also.
Yep, absolutely. I think all teams will be here for the long run. You know, that's really one of the things about season one is it was really great to see all their teams kind of earn their spot in this. Like you never know going into creating an organization like this and creating an event, you know, you kind of think just by raw statistics that, you know, one of these teams surely won't be here next season because just like how can you have 100% success turnover rate, right? Like, or not to have like a 0% turnover rate with teams. And all teams will be here in season two. It's crazy how hard these guys have all worked to prove themselves. Like it really goes to show you how devoted these groups of people are, because like, yeah, I can say for a certainty that all these 5 teams will be here in season 2, which is astounding. Yeah, I'm very shocked.
This, man. This is what before strategies, dude. I used to think that this right here, this 15-minute, was a level that you
just
could buy.
Listening to TM Mafia for a minute
dude,
here,
this was
seeing
like one
what
of the
they're up to.
mistakes I used to make when I was like really early in. And it gave you like that illusion that it was correct. Like it would give you that illusion, but it wasn't correct. Like it was really just like the 5-minute. Yeah, dude, I was under that illusion forever. Yeah.
TM Mafia talking about some deeper things they're learning. Yep.
But yeah, strategies cleared that up. It was a really good series.
Give us cause.
Dude, that's what happened, dude. I forgot about it or something. Like I must have just like completely forgot, and
Well,
yeah.
Well, I think it's time to do something kind of cool. I think it's time to show our audience one of the first official Chart Raiders commercials. So let's go jump over to that. What does it take to be a day trader? You're a sniper, a scalper, and a swinger. You must be able to catch a falling knife with impeccable accuracy. Trade with undoubted passion and zero ego. You live, breathe, and sleep as a trader. You are the CEO, the employee, and the customer. The perfect composition, the perfect squad. Now, imagine there's a team of you ready to fight. A team of aces using their strengths to execute the absolute best trades. The stakes are high, but the profits are even higher. Watch as underground rebels compete to win the grand prize. Which team will conquer and crush this competition? Welcome to Chart Raiders. Do you have what it takes to become a raider? Our audience there getting to see the commercial for the first time. So our official Chart Raiders commercial, we have another one. I'm going to show you guys a second one. Guys and gals out there, there's a second one. But that's one of the first ones that we have to show the audience. So yeah, really getting excited for Chart Raiders. Yep.
Damn, that commercial, it's so super cool. Almost
Yep.
gave me goosebumps, man.
Yeah, that's a really good commercial. There's one that's even better. It's hard to pick between your two favorite commercials, so we made 2 so far, and the other one is my personal favorite. I did the voice acting for the first one, but on the second one we got a voice actor, and it paid off really well. It's super cool. I don't know which one I like better. They're both pretty neat, but yeah, that first one was really cool. It's yeah.
Are we gonna watch the second one right now?
Should we watch it right now or should we wait?
Oh, we can wait.
Let's watch it right now. Why not? Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's go.
An underground society, hidden from the public. competition of raiders pillaging for digital gold. Do they have what it takes to reap the markets? For the first time, tickets to our world are being handed out. Join the pillaging in Season 1 of Chart Raiders, streaming live on Twitch.
There we go. Both commercials premiered for the first time ever. Those will be put up on the YouTube later for people to watch again and see. But yeah, both
That's such
both
a good
commercials.
commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I like that one.
My personal favorite one will be
What
this,
commercial?
the second one, to be honest. Yeah.
Did he show
And I
you?
think everybody's in
Yeah,
the
he showed
chat.
the
They
commercials
also
he
like
showed
the
us
second
earlier.
one.
Sorry, I had Team Paradigm's audio coming through. We missed the last part of what you said there, Kartik. Sorry, go ahead again.
Yeah, no problem. I said my personal favorite will be the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that second one. I like it because I got a voice actor, so I didn't have to do all the work. Typically, I do all the voice acting, but that only goes so far. I can only stretch my talents, so far. So, yep, that was a really cool thing to just hands off. Somebody else does the work, and I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to have help. That was pretty cool.
It's good, short and precise, impactful. Everything one can ask, I would say.
Looks like our audience has a split view on this. Everybody's saying they like the first one, the second one. I think we should toss up a vote for what people like more, the first or the second commercial.
Yeah, for sure.
Put that poll up in the chat for people, see what they like. I'm kind of curious to see what people vote for, actually, the first or the second commercial. I would personally vote for the second one, but again, maybe a little skewed coming from me.
I can see it's a tough fight. Commercial one is getting more votes till now.
Yeah, and I think at this point we're just going to continue watching the 5 teams while we just hang out for a few minutes. I'm going to take a small break, so Kartik, you'll be taking over by yourself here for a few moments, and I'll be back temporarily. But yeah, go nuts and have fun.
All right. Yeah, I would say commercial one is getting most of the votes, 56%. Yeah. Personally, I liked the second one, but it's okay. All right, guys, if somebody wants to talk about something, they want to ask something, they can just write it in the chat box and I might reply to that. And we can also see that our teams are charting right now, working hard. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, guys. Corin made me a mod for the community today. So excited for that. Thanks, everyone, for your wishes. Um, Zach, I would say most of the teams they are trading on 100x of what I know. Team Pad and they were like we were doing like 100x every time, and I'm sure all other teams are doing 100x. Yeah, thanks, JDY. Trading has been good. We are learning a lot of stuff in mentorship. The teams are going crazy. Personally, I've been into trading since I would say a year now, and I've seen so much of changes in myself and in my way of trading, like in my way of trading style. Um, I also mostly do 100x, like other teams most of the times. So yeah, there's your answer, JDY. Yeah, King May. Definitely, mentorship butterfly effect is something game changing. Like, if you want to step up, that is something you should be there. And if you are thinking to plan a team, I would say going through that stuff, it's gonna open a lot of questions for you. It's gonna clear a lot of doubts for you for sure. So, yeah. Hey, hi, guy. Karthik, what's your blood type? I don't know, man. Sorry, I couldn't answer that. Yeah, Hyperarch. Cotton always says that always work from bigger time frame down. So that's your reply over there. Hi, Femi. I don't know, guys. We're just gonna wait Cotton to come back and look into these teams. I'm just here saying hello, hi to everybody. Um, you gonna see me a lot in the live streams from now on, I would say. So yeah, hi. Yeah, uh, the guys in my office they're doing good, still studying, but they have started taking trades. So yeah, I help them sometimes with few things. Other than that, they're on their own. Like I was the one to show them the path. Now they're on their own. Chocolate milkshake, hi guy for sure. What do you like? Ah, that's cool. No sugar for you. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's excited for the stream. Like just in 2 or 3 days, we're gonna start with Chart Traders Season 1. It's gonna be amazing. I'm sure every team is hyped up right now. They might be having their relaxed time before the tournament. So,
All right, so I've got a bit of a confession to make.
Okay, what is that?
I wanted to see how you were going to do if I gave you 10 minutes of free space to talk. So, how did he do, everybody? Audience? Did Kartik kill it, or did he completely sink the ship? What do you guys think, guys and gals? Let's see what our audience has to say. I think they loved you. I was listening. I think you did pretty darn good, Kartik.
Yay! Yeah, it's like my first day. I'm kind of nervous, to be honest. But I'm sure it's gonna get better in the future.
Kept the ship running. Yes, absolutely, Ninja. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, you did great, man. I was kind of just listening and seeing how you would do, and yeah, you did great. And it looks like this is a shocker. It looks like our audience preferred commercial number 1 with me. I thought for sure everybody was like, oh, commercial 2. That's the hype commercial. Let's run it again. What does it take to be a day trader? You're a sniper, a scalper, and a swinger.
Yeah, I still like commercial
You
number 2.
must be able to catch a falling knife with impeccable accuracy. Trade with undoubted passion and zero ego. You live, breathe, and sleep as a trader. You are the CEO, the employee, and the customer. The perfect composition, the perfect squad. Now, imagine there's a team of you ready to fight. A team of aces using their strengths to execute the absolute best trades. The stakes are high, but the profits are even higher. Watch as underground rebels compete to win the grand prize. Which team will conquer and crush this competition? Welcome to Chart Raiders. Do you have what it takes to become a raider? Yeah, for me, it's when that beat drops, dude. When that beat drops right at the end, oh yeah, that's like sends chills, man, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would say I might have to change my vote. Now I'm liking commercial number 1 because it's much more. It's like it has much more story in it. Like if somebody will see
Yeah,
it, they're gonna understand what it is about. But for a ad perspective, like a short and precise, I would vote for commercial number 2.
yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is, right? The number 2 is short and snappy and sweet, and number 1 is more immersive and more about our world. So yeah, you kind of low key nailed it. Let's take a look at some charts before we go for the day. Again, today is just preseason 1. We're gonna check out the ranks before we get back into charts, just to give people an idea of where everybody ranks again. Just going into season 1, just having some of these expectations of traders and some metrics for sure to let our audience know where kind of everybody ranks, because I get to see the stuff behind the scenes, teams get to see it, you get to see it, Kartik, but always important for our audience to kind of have that going forth into week 1, right? So season 1, week 1 starting Monday, and then yeah, number 1, you've got Vet, who's the captain of Arcane. He's absolutely been killing it. Team Arcane has been killing it overall. They've just been they've been destroying it. They've been doing so great, making great profits, and really reflective of their not only their team rank 8, 8, and 9, 8 in procedural analysis, 8 in risk assessment, and 9 in comparative analysis. But Vet leading that charge, and then even all 3 members on the leaderboard: Freestyle in 5th place and JPD in 9th. So yeah, that's just Team Arcane. Really representing them well. And let's talk about PA, RA, and CA for a moment. PA being procedural analysis. Kartik, what did you find the hardest when you were trading and on a team? Did you find procedural, risk, or comparatives to be the hardest part of charting?
I would say for me it was risk, for
Yep.
sure. I remember I also give this small test to the captains. That's how I think these ranks are decided, right?
Yes.
So in that also risk was something I struggled a bit. So for me, it was always risk. Yeah.
Yep. Always risk. That is a tough one because risk assessment is something we've just broken into with my science lately. So yeah, risk is always going to be the it's the newest, so there's the least amount of experience there, right? So I think a lot of people would share that with you, but I also think procedural analysis is quite tough in a very hidden way. I find you have traders fall onto either side of those. So if you were to look on your screen right now at those three categories, PA, RA, CA, RA slices that cake right down the middle, and you typically find traders either excelling at PA or CA. It is very rare to find one that accelerates at both. So Rob is one of the examples of somebody who accelerates at both, which is surprising because if you look at most of these ranks, you'll notice that it kind of either escalates or de-escalates. Like it goes 987, 1097, or it goes 789 or 6 8 10. But Rob, he's somebody, which is interesting because Rob is somebody who actually accelerates at both. So typically traders fall into one of two sides of this. They're either really good at before the trade or they're really good after the trade. And it becomes so obvious when you look at the stats. But then you have this wild card kind of scenario. And Jesse is like this too, as you can see. You have these wild cards that are good on both sides, which is really neat because that's a very rare quantity for a trader. Inuke is like that too. Inuke is more of kind of evened out across the board. I've noticed that about him. But Jesse and Rob, they are two people who are definitely, they share that, and you can see it in their scores too.
Yeah. And I can see freestyle looks like he's good with everything,
Yep.
like very much balanced, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Also, same with Shandron. That's good.
Who's Kardik? Where does Kardik rank? Is he better at PA or is he better at CA?
Um, I would say I was better at PA,
Aha. Yeah.
then
Okay.
CA,
Yeah.
and then RA. So RA comes in the last. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Cool. Yeah. RA is a tough one for sure, but yeah, and then you've got JCap in second. He's the captain of Paradigm. So JCap, very strong member, very very good. If you know JCap and you've worked on his team, and you see how JCap is, a little insight to our audience for JCap is that we talked about this a bit before, but he's very structured. He's very much they're there at 5 a.m. They're talking about their trades. They're preparing for the day. They're setting up perfect targets. So like when you look at a team like Paradigm, you're going to notice their PA, it ranks really high because those guys, man, they prepare for trades like no other team. It is just constant preparation in the best way possible. Someone in the chat asks what PA is. PA is procedural analysis. That's the one of three legs of what we do on the chart. So PA is what we call procedural analysis. It's everything that happens before a trade. So on day trading, we have three lanes of trading. The first lane is everything that happens before. The second lane is everything that happens during, which is RA, which we call risk assessment. And then the third lane is everything that happens after the trade has executed, which is comparative analysis. So called comparative analysis because you're comparing the events of what previously happened to the events in the moment. So if you want to learn more about that, of course, you can go to my YouTube channel and learn about it. But JCap and Team Paradigm, like you guys used to do these crazy routines every day and preparing for them. So yeah, it really doesn't surprise me to see not only their team rank on the left-hand side as 976, 9 in PA, but also spot number 2 and 3 belong to JCap and Ninpo, both ranking 9 in PA. That doesn't shock me at all, just based on the way you guys ran your team.
Yeah. PA something. Every day we had this structure where before JCap comes into the com, we already have like levels for him, like like everything was ready, and then it was just like fire, fire, fire. Once he's in the com, it was always about CA and RA. PA was something like we spent a lot of time doing it. So yeah, that's how it was. Ninpo, I know him, so I can talk about him. He's like a young guy, very intelligent.
Yeah, Ninpo's a very bright young man. I would agree with you there. Ninpo is he's a shining light on that team. Not to say there aren't other
Yeah.
shining lights, but Ninpo is a shining light on that team. He's very intelligent.
Yeah, definitely. And um, yeah, I'm sure like every team has those guys who are good with scalping and few guys who are good with swing trades. That's a combination for a team. So in our team, Ninpo was the guy who was good at the overall meta, like looking at the direction of a coin, especially on bigger time frames. So that's how we had like a balanced team. Like me and Matt, we were more of a scalpers, and
Yep.
Ninpo and other few members, they were like more of looking at the meta and deciding where the coin is going. And I'm sure like every team has those kind of roles in them, right?
Absolutely. Let's talk more about Paradigm for a second. You mentioned Matt MM. He's not on the leaderboards here, but Matt MM is definitely a leader in this competition. He, these skill tests that we do, some weeks people rank high, some weeks people rank low. They could just have, be tired that day, or they could be at a point where they're just not hitting the right levels. I always say take the stats with a grain of salt, but also it gives you great insight as to how the teams operate. But Matt, like, he has flourished as a trader. Like, I can say that. Like, Matt has flourished as a trader, and he's also somebody who's a very, very bright leader in this competition for sure. You've worked with Matt. To see the growth that Matt has had, he's been one of the people that's grown the most in this competition, which has been awesome to see from my perspective.
Yeah, I would say not just this tournament, but throughout his whole journey using your signs, I have seen this guy getting better and better every week. I've been trading with Matt since 5 or 6 months now,
Yep.
and yeah. I was so excited to hear that he's also the same team that I'm in right now, that I was in the
Yep.
same team.
That you were in. Yep.
So yeah, throughout the community, I would say he's one of the guy who has like worked so hard. He has given so many hours to himself, and I'm sure like he's one of the guy who's gonna do so good ahead in his future and in his career. I'm
Yep.
sure for that.
Yep. And so let's talk about Team Paradigm. There's been a little bit of a shift and change. So there's your members of Team Paradigm right now. There's a new face in that roster that not a lot of new people know about, because this is actually just a change that happened over the past day. Joe Mixer moved from TA Mafia over to Paradigm. So Paradigm is now looking stronger than they have been in a long time. This 4 balances this team perfectly. So looking at each person there on Paradigm, you can really see the squad coming together. So faces to the names, and yeah, that's your final squad for Team Paradigm. Joe Mixer joining that team just yesterday from TA Mafia.
Yeah, congrats to Joe Mixer.
Yep.
And I'm sure he'll do good with the team. I don't know him yet, but do you want to shed some light on what kind of, just about him, something about him?
I would have not enough airtime to talk about the good things about Joe Mixer. He's
Okay.
he's
Yeah,
he, no
sure.
he but honestly though, Joe is very intelligent. He represents something that no matter what team he's on, he's kind of the in a way the final filter for a team. He's what all ideas run to his doorstep, and he kind of gatekeeps which ones are the best. So Joe has a really unique talent that a lot of traders don't have, which is his ability to see out of everything. Like, we can, as day traders, we can mark all these levels on our charts. We can have all these theories and all these kind of scenarios that we paint out the pictures to, and we say, yeah, it could do this and it could do that. We all do it, and that's great. Joe has a special talent for picking the ones that actually work. So Joe is the kind of monster you'd put on a team that can pick out of all of the 10 ideas that are brought to the table. Joe has like cyborg vision, and he can see the one in the future that's going to come to pass. So Joe has a very unique and special talent, and for Team Paradigm, that is like a huge benefit to them, because they have every other piece. So Joe rounds out Paradigm in a way that pretty much makes them like a dream team from an analytical standpoint. So yeah, Joe's a cyborg. He has this vision, like, it's crazy. So yeah, that's what you say about Joe. The only one on the portrait here without blue eyes, because he is that kind of cyborg figure for the team.
Yeah. Those blue eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he comes
Well,
from TA Mafia. So TA Mafia coming from 5 members down to 4. It's funny because we started this thing, and teams were allowed to have up to 6 members, and as low as 3. And every single team ends up going down to 3 to 4 members, with the exception of Arcane, who's at 3, who prefers a 3-man team. So every single team, ended up getting to 4 members throughout the course of the event. So it was really neat to see that the teams are super balanced now. Going into week 1, every team has 4 members, except for Arcane, which does 3 by choice.
that's so cool.
Yep. Jump over to Team Phoenix. It's got Jude as the captain, Harrison, Jesse, and Rob. Strike test is one you'll see on your screen. That's an averaging of the points together, gives you an idea of what they rank. Typically, a strike test is something that refers to an accuracy rating. So if you were to hit 9 out of 10 targets, you'd have a 9 out of 10 strike rate. For our tournament, we use it just as a measurement of average. So yeah. So you'd see Jude, for example, scored 7, 6, and 6 in his previous test the last week. So he averages at 6.3 out of 10 strike test. You got Team Enigma here. Inuk, Marcus, Shenron, Sugar. And rounding it off with Team Arcane, the final team going into next week. So let's cap today's stream off with a little bit of a look on Bitcoin and some first, a team overlook. Quickly jump to the team screen here. Looks like a lot of teams are using a lot of trend work right now, which I agree with. And then let's go and do a little bit of charting here, Kartik. Let's just go and take a look at charts and see what's going on here with Bitcoin and kind of what we can expect over the weekend here. Won't give anybody any targets, but I definitely will going to be talking a bit about kind of what I think. So just going back earlier in the stream, weekly origin level, first and foremost thing that I would draw people's attention to. Weekly origin, cannot lose this level. It is too critical in the charts right now, so really needing to stay above that. And then also with that weekly origin, the weekly hold level needs to be developed. So you've kind of got a box that this thing lives in already automatically between these 2 purple lines. The weekly origin, it can't break on the bottom side, and the hold level on the top side that it needs to get over. So a very simple set of kind of parameters for Bitcoin moving forward throughout the weekend here. Go into lower time frames, you can kind of see where Bitcoin needs to be at. It did attempt to gain this weekly up here, but ultimately failed because the interior range hadn't been defined or created yet. So you got that top side interior range on the top, got your bottom side interior range on the bottom, and then your weekly level that you kind of have to develop over. So over time, we do need to see Bitcoin get over this level. That's in my opinion, that's going to be kind of like a minimum prerequisite going forward. So you're starting to, and what I'm noticing about Bitcoin, and I'm finding myself doing today, is I'm starting to put a lot of pressure in a way on Bitcoin and what it has to do in a theoretical sense. Like we have to get over this weekly level up top. We can't really move sideways, so we have to start moving up again, because we really can't break this interior trend if you go to the smaller time frames. You break this interior trend if you keep going sideways. Eventually you break this weekly origin before you even get to it, because you just break the trends. So you can't close under the weekly. You can't open a new candle under the weekly here. So you can't go underneath this weekly level and start opening up accumulation candles below it, because that threatens the hard close in the snap of a finger. So really, like right now, Bitcoin, there's like a lot of pressure for Bitcoin to move up. Like this is a lot when you start looking at the bigger picture. Like it has to get over top of this. It has to start moving up. It can't move sideways. It can't close accumulation candles below this level right here. It can't close a distribution candle yet. It's not possible. But it also can't really create accumulation candles down there. So like there's a lot of pressure here on Bitcoin. There's a lot of things it has to do in order to start moving up. And even that's not even to really start moving up. That's just to stabilize it, to get it out of the danger zone. Because right now Bitcoin really looks like it's in a pretty bad spot. Another thing I can imagine happening here is if you kind of hold so there's kind of like a hidden thing happening. On one hand, you've got this daily level right here that's holding the move, and I'm sure you can look for combination levels and diminish this down to the front of the 4 hour right here, or even the wick of the 4 hour, and then you can combination level it down to the hourly, which you're on right there. The same thing, you might be able to find an origin level somewhere inside of here that broke this move out. Maybe it's back here. I'm not quite certain, but the thing is that you would look at this and you'd say, okay, here's like a daily hold level that's been moved forward into a combo level, right? You got something like this. You've got a combo level here that's being created back from this daily. On one side of it, this looks great because you're sitting there saying, oh yeah, you're holding the daily. It's going to just, constantly hold until it breaks its higher trend. You're going to have some kind of interior trend that it needs to break, something like this that gets hard close to here, right? So you've got this one here first on the 4 hour. Gets hard close to here, and it may look like a blessing in disguise, right? Like, oh my God, you're holding this daily level, you're going to break your trend, you're going to start moving up. But on the other hand, if you hold this level too long, what people won't realize what's happening is that you're actually creating an inverse hold level right here. So if you keep holding this price, you've created the point that's going to break the move in the future, which is now like another point of pressure for Bitcoin. It's like another, like you've got the weekly on the bottom, you've got an inverse weekly being formed in the moment if Bitcoin's price holds. You've got a weekly on top that you have to get over. You can't move sideways for that long. So you're starting to build up a pretty big list here of things where it's really not looking great for Bitcoin. So I don't think holding is the right answer here either. As much as people would like to see Bitcoin kind of hold in price right now, being that it's Friday, 2 more days and you create an inverse weekly level. That inverse weekly level, all of a sudden it goes up and you've got this inverse weekly level. The second you get below this, like, yeah, guess what's going to happen? That's going to bounce it down below this origin and you're kind of gone. So holding isn't the key here either, which is a little counterintuitive because you look at this chart and you'd say, oh, as long as this thing holds, it looks good. It's going to break trends and all this stuff, but it's not the case here. So, yeah, they're really not looking good for Bitcoin. I will say that. Other than that, we've got an interior range here that kind of has to hold. So this will act as support for the trend in the future. And this is really what you need to pay attention to. Forget your break level to create an origin. Forget the weekly origin level here. You can leave that one and you can make this yellow line thicker. Forget this inverse. Forget this daily. Don't need it. Forget this hourly, I suppose that is. Forget the hourly. You kind of have to hold this interior range. If this interior range breaks, the move is, I think, done. So you've got a very short period of time. You have an interior range and you can't hard close this range. I think if you hard close this range, this move is going to collapse pretty quick. Somebody in chat says TA Mafia underdog. By no means is TA Mafia an underdog. Let me tell you something about TA Mafia. They have something the other teams don't, for sure. TA Mafia I don't think is an underdog at all. We're gonna see how things shape out in week 1 and then we'll see. I have faith in the Mafia crew. Would it be almost better for BTC to close as a distribution on the weekly? Coffee asks. No. I don't really think that's going to make too much of a difference here. I think it's more of the trend work that's going to decide on Bitcoin. As soon as you break the final piece of whatever it's holding, which this trend work is kind of what it's holding, I think once you break that, the outcomes are already kind of predefined. So that's the big worry right now with this part of the move, is that you break this interior piece and you're already so close to all other forms of polarity. Like you're getting close to weekly polarity here. You've got the potential to be breaking other origins. Yeah, I think you're getting pretty close to the bottom of the move here on Bitcoin. If this can't hold, yeah, I'm not too certain if Bitcoin will be able to hold this range. This interior range represents more than just, you would look at this interior range as something we call bridges and switches in mentorship. And the concept of bridges and switches is that this range, this trend is the switch to this bridge right here. So if this trend breaks, theoretically, you're attacking this level. The problem with that is when you break this trend, you could possibly go down and test to hold something else, creating a new interior range, new bridge and switch. What is this being held up off of? Well, it's not the hold level, so you're not attacking the hold level. It's maybe some trail like this, which gives you a higher time frame origin level, which would be this. So in a theoretical standpoint, like when you're looking at what kind of the controlling piece here is that this bridge and switch here, this trend right here, and we can delete all these scribbles. This trend right here, once it breaks, it kind of gaps right down to this level here. The problem with that is in a scenario where it tests this and holds it, you're already under your kind of higher time frame polarity here. So you're already under your weekly. So holding this lower origin level below it doesn't really do anything. And this lower origin level also doesn't give you the room for this weekly level to stabilize. So if you go to a weekly time frame here and you can say, oh yeah, that's great, Cotton, but you could kind of go down here and then come back up like this, and yeah, you could eventually hard close back over top of it, just like these candles had done, just like these 3 candles. The difference here is that origin will stop that and foil that plan. You're going to go down below this, and where you think you may hard close and come back above, you're going to go down here and you're going to try to attempt to come back up. You're going to back test this daily. It's going to hard close, and then before hard closing this weekly, this origin crushes it down, and then it breaks the move. And you're already hard closing this on the higher time frame. So you've kind of got like a combination attack happening on this weekly. So there's not a lot left here after this trend. This interior trend kind of becomes the moment that you have to hold. I don't see many other ways about it. You can of course go test down in the range, but this is the worry. This is the worry with Bitcoin right now. Can I rent your brain? No, you cannot. Not for rent. If I were to rent my brain, what would I take as payment? What's the best thing money can't buy? Rockstars? No, money can buy rockstars, not rockstars. But like money can buy. What do you give somebody that's not money? Like how do you rent a brain? What's a good token of trade? Time? No, I don't want time. I would just spend more time on the charts. It doesn't get me away. What do you trade? What's the token of trade here? Propose me something good and I'll consider renting the brain. Superpowers? I could go for superpowers. Depends what they are. That might be something I'd get on board with. $5 deal. No deal. I could go for superpowers, yeah. Phoenix will let me trade with him for a day. Dude, that's sick. Yeah, thank you, Phoenix. Generous offer coming through. Yep, absolutely. Joining mentorship is the same thing as renting your brain. Thanks, Seabass. Yeah, it's a pretty intense thing, mentorship. Yep. a Red Bull from your stash. A lot of Red Bull comments. Red Bull, no, we phased Red Bull out. Let's jump back to the teams here. Teams not trading today, so today's more of just an information day, preseason one, just having some fun, showing team stats, showing where everybody is for the competition, coming to Friday to do a nice tech test and everything. So not too much going on for actual trades being taken today, everyone in the audience. However, starting Monday, teams will be starting the week fresh with $10,000 each, and we're going to be able to track them all week. The official first day of Chart Radar starting Monday the 6th. So that would be 4 days from now. We're on the 3rd. 3 days. Wow, time's running out. Both coffee, both. We watch teams trade, and we do entertainment and education at the same time. Tune in to see. Yep, so the way it works for anybody who's new here is that I fund the traders $10,000 each every week, and they get to keep their profits. So if they make, boatloads of money, then they're having a pretty nice weekend for themselves, and they keep all their profits. So they keep 75% of their profits. The other 25% of the remaining profits goes to a prize pool that they all compete for at the end of the season. So the team that finishes first based on points at the end of the season, and the points metrics will be released every week as to how we're doing points. Each week is going to be different. I like to keep those things as a surprise so that teams have to study for the weekend. So a Friday is going to come around, and we'll say, hey, next week the teams are going to be gaining points by trading only altcoins, as an example. So then, the more altcoin trades they take, the more points they get. So it'll be a balance between fighting for points and what kind of profits they can make. So every team will have to make that decision, part of the strategy. It will all be live, Dane, for sure. Teams are only allowed to trade during stream time, so we will be live somewhere between 6 and 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for Chart Raiders Season 1. And the teams will be fighting for profits, and then 25% of their winnings. So they keep 75%, and the remaining 25% goes to a prize pool for them to all fight over. So then they fight over the prize pool. And not only does this give the teams an opportunity to make money and a salary for themselves every single week, but it also gives them a chance to have a bigger prize pool to fight for at the end as well. So first team to reach negative 25,000 deficit, they get knocked out for season 1. So season 1, if they get to negative $25,000, although I don't think any team will get to that point. If they get to negative $25,000, they get knocked out, eliminated as the first team. The second team to be eliminated, which will be 4 teams left, if a team gets to a negative, the reins tighten at that point. There's 4 teams left. The clock is on. Elimination is starting. The next team to get negative 20,000 in deficit gets knocked out, leaving 3 teams left. At that point, they will be fighting for survival. They will be on their final reload. That means they will have been topped up or drawn down to $10,000, and that is it. Survival of the fittest. As we are day traders, there's a certain importance to show that we have to make things survive, right? We have all that challenge in day trading. We all have to have an account balance and say, okay, how do I make this work? So they all go on kind of like a ticking time bomb at that point. The survival mode kicks in, the final form of survival mode, and they are left to fight for that final spot, that grand championship prize, where if a team gets their account balance to 0, they will be the 3rd team knocked out. If all teams are making big profits and it's a push, it'll be the team that gets the most profits and the most points by the end of the competition that wins the grand prize. So it'll be really great. And if any team liquidates their account prior to elimination, they simply get topped up another $10,000. So every team, every single Monday, every team gets reset to $10,000, and then they have the full week to see what they can do with that, how many points they can earn, how many profits they can make. Hunger Games moment, exactly. Don't get liquidated too much. It might cost you your spot in the tournament. All stats will be tracked every single week. We'll be updating their PNL sheets. We can go to those standing boards so people can understand a little bit more about how that works. So every single week, we're going to be updating their PNL, how many points they have. So you can see the season 1 leaderboards right there. And then if we go to the previous week, we'll be able to keep track of what happened the previous week and how that affected their current state. So every week we'll be able to keep track of all the teams and everything that they're doing, all the progress they make, and everything that happens to their point standings. If they have a breakout week and they've climbed that rank in points, we're going to see which teams rank where, profits and loss versus points. We're going to be able to keep track of both of those, and then always going back to the overarching leaderboards or the higher leaderboards for the entire season. So really cool how we're going to be able to keep track of the previous week and how it's affected the overall tournament standings. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch these teams really fight for this and see who's got what it takes to become the season 1 champion of Chart Raiders. And then season 2, we'll be looking to onboard a lot more teams. So season 2, after season 1, as long as it's successful and everything goes good and it runs smoothly, season 2 we'll be looking to onboard a whole slew of new teams, and it'll be even bigger and better competition. These current teams, the 5 teams, they will stay for season 2, of course. We'll simply be adding more teams to the pool. Who knows? Maybe there will be 8 teams. Maybe there will be 10, 12, 15, maybe 16 to make it 8v8. Rules will change. Starting balances will grow, get bigger. Maybe teams will be awarded $25,000 a week instead of $10,000. All these things still be to decided depending on how season 1 does. But really looking forward to seeing how season 1 plays out and the beginning of season 2. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be here quite often. We're going to be here for somewhere between 6 and 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday. Watching teams, listening to their commentary, watching them trade, seeing how their teams talk to each other, watching them analyze trades, getting my overlook on things. We've got Kartik, who's going to be joining us. He's going to be the co-host for season 1. So he's going to be right there with me the whole time. So you got me and Kartik manning the ship, directing everybody what to look at and where to go. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Season 1 is going to be very exciting. Best possible trading education. Thank you so much, JTY845. Anybody who wants to join in future seasons, you can do so by joining the Discord, which is accessible via my Patreon. You can start off by going to my YouTube. All my materials free on YouTube. You can start going to learn the lingo and how we do things. And that'll be it for today. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Kartik, for joining me as a co-host today. And Kartik will be joining me as the co-host for all of season 1. So thank you so much, Kartik, for being here today. Kartik had to run a few minutes early, so that's okay. I'll say goodbye for him to everybody. And everybody, we start on Monday we're aiming for 7 or 8 a.m. We're going to be aiming for a little bit of an earlier start than 9 a.m. We want to give teams more time to trade. So we're going to be starting either at 7 or 8 a.m. on day 1, and then 7 or 8 a.m. I'll make that final decision going through this weekend here for the entire tournament, and really being here for 6, 7, or 8 hours a day, giving those teams time to trade. And yeah, until Monday, you guys enjoy your weekend, guys and gals. Trade good, make money, enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you on Monday for season 1.